This person asks, what do you think of the people who are anti-partisan, people who dislike both parties, people who say you can't vote your way out of this? Sort of a loaded question. To what level do they dislike both parties? Do they dislike both parties, but they still participate in the voting process? Or do they dislike both parties and they say, I'm not going to be part of this, I'm not going to vote for anybody, for anything, because I don't like anybody? Because I dislike both parties, even though I say I'm a Democrat. I've never been a registered anything. I've never registered with a party. I've donated to the Democratic Party, and I have predominantly voted for Democrats over the course of my lifetime. But I don't like both parties either. I think that both parties are interested primarily in preserving their own power, first and foremost. Having said that, of the two parties, Republican or Democrat, the Democrat Party, in my opinion, through the data that I've seen, through the votes that have been taken, through the efforts that have been made in Congress and at the presidential level, at least try to do something for the American people. Now, if you're talking about people that are like, well, all we're going to do is we're going to keep voting in the same people over and over and over again, and we're never going to get any change. Well, if you abstain from voting, then you allow the worst of the worst to take control, which is what we're seeing now. What we have now is fascism taking root in America. How did we get to a fascist state? Well, we have people who vote for this shit. You can identify them by their red hats. They support fascism. And then you have people who are the kind of people that you're talking about here that are like, yeah, I'm not going to participate in anything, who would normally vote for the saner of the two choices, but have decided that they're not going to participate in the process. And thus, they essentially take votes away from that saner option and allow fascism to take hold. We saw it happen in 2016. We saw it happen in 2024. We know people in our lives, my wife and I, we know people in our lives who couldn't bring themselves to vote for Kamala Harris. Just can't. She doesn't represent everything I want in a candidate 100% across the board, so I'm not going to vote for her. And now they can't believe what they're seeing. I can't believe that we've got patrols of ICE wandering the cities of the United States. I can't believe that we're seeing the National Guard get nationalized and sent into Chicago and Portland. Well, a judge has stopped that temporarily for Portland. We're going to talk about that in another video. You can't believe it? Really? Who would you have if you had to vote, who would you have voted for? If somebody told you you have to vote between the Republican or the Democrat, who would you have voted for? Oh, Kamala? That's your answer right there. That's how you can believe it. You didn't vote. And so now we got this. If you're waiting for the dream candidate, if you're waiting for the dream party, you're going to be waiting your entire life. The way that you change the system is you work within the system, but you work within the system while also not allowing fascism to take hold. Because if fascism has its way, you won't ever get a vote again. You won't ever get a choice again. So no, I don't particularly have a soft spot or warm, fuzzy feelings for people who are apathetic to the voting process because the candidate didn't meet 100% of their criteria. Therefore, they're going to protest vote.